Hey there, I'm Larissa from Beekeeping Made Simple, and this video is about lids. You have two primary lid options that you can get, and one is the telescoping outer lid, which is what I have on this beehive here, and that's just a fancy name for a lid that extends over the edges. This is the more expensive lid option, and it comes with either the aluminum top, or you can find ones that are made out of other materials, and it's the option you want to go with if you get a lot of rain, or if you live in a place where you have a frost and your bees are going to have to overwinter, in the sense that they're going to be clustered up when it's going to be getting cold out, below 50 degrees for an extended period of time. The other option, however, is the migratory lid, which is this guy over here. Migratory lid is pretty much just a flat board the size of your beehive box, and it just has these two pieces on the side, which makes it easier to lift up. And this is the lid I was used to working with when I worked for a commercial beekeeping industry, when I worked for a commercial bee farm. And they move their hives a few times a year to harvest honey from specific flowers. And so it's called the migratory lid because when commercial beekeepers move their bees, they need to put them on trucks, and you want the beehive to take up the least amount of space possible. So therefore you want a lid that is the size of the beehive and doesn't extend off the side of the beehive, and it's going to take up more space. When I worked for that one operation, they put their beehives on a pallet. It was 4 to a pallet. They'd have a bobcat. They'd stack one pallet up on top of another. So that was 4 beehives on top of a pallet of 4 beehives. And they'd pick up all 8 hives at once and put them on the back of the truck. And they would have 100 that they would put on this truck and move them around the island. So this is a fine option if you live in a place that's not rainy or you don't have that cold winter. Here in Hawaii, it's a fine option, especially if you have a screened bottom. Then even if a little bit of rain gets in there, it's no big deal. But if you're going to need the telescoping outer cover for the winter time, it's better to just start out with that and not waste your money getting this lid and having to replace it. That being said, if you do need a lid in a pinch, this is something I've done in the past. I've gone to Home Depot and bought that big sheet of plywood that was 3/4 of an inch, non-pressure treated, and for 40 bucks, they cut it down. 40 bucks for the sheet of plywood. I think they charged an extra 50 cents after the first cut. I had at least 8 of these that were made for 40 bucks, and since I had a little economy size car, I couldn't put the plywood in my car and cut it down myself. And that works really well in a pinch. I mean, you paint the outside, but not the inside that faces down into the beehive. And it will start to warp just a little bit. It doesn't get too bad because it's pretty thick wood, but it will warp a little bit. But it is just fine in a pinch, especially in the warmer weather. Having that extra little gap, because the wood starts to warp a little bit, the bees can have an upper entrance, is actually a good thing when it's hot out. So if you're planning on making lots of splits, or weren't intending to split a hive but think you have to, caught a swarm, this is an easy way to do it. And actually, some of them I use for lids and some of them I use for a bottom board. So all you have to do is drill a 3/4 of an inch or an inch size hole in your box, and there's your entrance. You can put your box on a solid board bottom, and you don't need the nicer bottom board that has the lip on all 3 sides. So those are the lids you can use for a Langstroth style beehive. Now there are lots of other style beehives, but I highly recommend starting out with a Langstroth if you are a beginner, unless you cannot lift something that weighs over 30 pounds. If that is the case, then get a long Langstroth. If you want to learn more about why I recommend a Langstroth style hive for beginners, we have that video in our beginner beekeeping playlist, and the link down at the bottom in the description of this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out our free ebook, The 7 Steps to Getting Started Keeping Bees. You can download it right at our website, beekeepingmadesimple.com, and the link for that is right down in the description for this video as well. If you enjoyed this video, appreciated it, liked it, want to help us reach more beekeepers, hit the subscribe button, and then hit the bell icon if you want to get emails from YouTube when we put up a new video, which is every week.